Okay, welcome back to the, I think, second episode of Your Career, Your Life that is also available on video on YouTube. So I am just asking for you to bear with me if you're watching this because I'm still working on lighting, making sure it's not too bright on me, making sure it's not too dark, trying to use daylight the best I can, but in my office space, not working out so much with my current layout and trying to figure out in the space that I have how to put a light. It gets picked up in the mirror sometimes. Anyway, it's a lot, but I am enjoying it overall. So bear with me. Also, if you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. It helps a lot. I'm brand new, so trying to grow my subscribers is huge. It's a huge hurdle. So please go ahead and subscribe that before we get started. Also, I think I've kind of figured out the format I'm going to be doing. I know before I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be doing all of my podcasts on video or just doing one video a week and it's going to be the podcast. My brain finally sorted it out. It just took a little time. But what I am going to do is still do my podcast every week, like I've been doing, and also record it, video it so that it is uploaded to YouTube, but it'll also be on Apple. Plus, I'm going to do just a dedicated YouTube video every week based on something else. So, should add up to 2 videos a week, and we'll see if I can sustain that. But that is my goal. See how that goes for the next month, and see how I'm doing with like editing and stuff. So let's get started on today's episode. So today we're going to talk about overwhelm. Now, also bear with me with the mic situation. I'm trying to figure out what's best. So we are going to talk about overwhelm. I would say the number one feeling that women come to me with when they are in the midst of this like want to change careers situation is overwhelm, especially if you don't know what the next career is going to be. It can be a very overwhelming feeling. I've been there before. I know it. So when you feel like you need this change and you don't know what you want to do, it just feels huge because there's so many things in life we can do, right? Whether it's a career or starting your own business, there's so many possibilities. And many of those might excite you. It might be that it's not that you just don't know what to do, it's just that you don't know how to pick one. And so this feeling of overwhelm happens, and our brains tend to like rush through all of the options or all of the steps that we're going to have to take in order to accomplish it. And we'll just shut down because it seems like impossible, right? It's so too much. It's going to take too long. And then there's the whole like, what if I fail situation, right? So I feel like this month of September actually has some pretty good podcast topics coming up. We're talking about overwhelm. We're talking about burnout next week. I think that's next week. And then we're also going to be talking about quitting the final week of this month. So keep coming back and watching for more. Let's talk about overwhelm first of all. Overwhelm is just a natural response that we feel when we are basically out of control, right? We don't have control over the circumstances, the situation, the outcome. And we feel this when we're facing kind of like the unknown, right? What's going to happen if I do go after all of these things or one thing or whatever it may be. There's kind of 2 parts to this that we're going to talk about today. And it is not knowing what you want to do and not knowing how to do it. And just know that when you're feeling this way, it just means that you're growing. Like you're ready for something to change. So all of these emotions are completely normal. Let's talk about the cost of staying stuck, basically of giving in to this overwhelm. The cost is the waking up one day far into the future and looking back and saying, what if I would have done that? What if? And that's the regret. And I don't want you to have that. I don't want you to feel the regret of not going after a dream that you had. And I'd like you to kind of think of overwhelm as a choice of like giving into that overwhelm. It is a choice. It's deciding to stay comfortable in that unknown, the overwhelm, staying stuck where you are, because there is comfort, even though it might be a situation that you want to get out of. It's still what you know, and that feels safe to your brain. So it might seem harsh to say, but it is a choice that you make. And what I hope to accomplish today is to get you out of that stuckness. Okay, let's just break this down into a few steps. Step one is I want you to kind of get quiet, and I want you to write about things that you're feeling right now, all the ideas you have, all the emotions that come up when you think about the ideas, and kind of like define that overwhelm for yourself. Then step two, you're going to pick like an experiment. You're going to pick something that's part of one of these things that you want to do, and you're going to go out into the real world and you're going to try it out. Now, you might be saying, but it's a new job. I can't just go try out a new job as an experiment. Correct. This could simply be, and I've talked about this many times before in my podcast, this could be like volunteering in a place that you want to work. Not all work situations take volunteers, but there are some that do. You just have to find that thing that is possible for you. This could even just be having a conversation with someone who does what you do. Chances are that someone you know knows someone who does what you want to do. Or even if it's like starting a new business, you could just find someone who owns their own business, a small business, and talk to them about how they got started. It doesn't have to be a small business, just like, they probably started out small. So see what they did in the beginning and what it was like. And so it doesn't have to be the same kind of business you want to start. It's just someone that has the experience of starting a business from scratch. It could even be a project you take on at home, or maybe a class you can take. And this doesn't have to be like a college class. You can take a class doing something else. Maybe it's something artistic you want to do. So you can go take an art class. And the third step is to look for support. You don't have to do this alone. Look for coaches, look for mentors in that area, kind of like what I just talked about. Talk to someone you trust that's either in your family or friend circle. The only thing I caution there is sometimes family or friends will tend to not support your dreams, not because they don't love you, but because it's unknown to them and it scares them a little bit. So therefore they put that fear on you. So just choose wisely. Usually we have that one person in life who is kind of our cheerleader and there to help us move forward. I think a lot of the overwhelm comes from you thinking about 10 steps that you have to take to get to a certain point. And yeah, that's a lot. So especially if maybe there's 50 steps to get to what you want. So I want you to just take the first step. Just focus on one thing. This is so important. When you take that first step and you get an outcome, and then you know what the next step is, your momentum, your motivation, your confidence increases every step of the way. And this will get you closer and closer to what you want to do. So just remember, overwhelm does not have to keep you stuck. And if you're listening to this and that overwhelm is hitting home with you, and that feeling of dread or fear of failure, whatever it may be, is something that is keeping you stuck, reach out to me. I offer free discovery calls that are 30 minutes long where you can talk about it, and maybe you can come up with something useful for you to walk away with. Or maybe this is something you would like to have a coach for. There's always support around. You just have to look for it. Don't let yourself look back and wonder, what if I had done that thing? Instead, be the person that looks back and says, I did it, and I'm so happy I tried it out. Even if you fail at it. Even if, and we were talking about failure another week, even if that outcome didn't go as you had hoped, now you know. I'd much rather know that I tried something and it didn't work out than always wonder and think, oh, things could have been so different if I had done that. and keep kicking myself that I didn't take the chance when I had it. So just a little food for thought. All right, like I said, I think next week we're talking about burnout, which is a very popular topic and one that hits home with many of us, I think. And it's also going to be a way to kind of see if maybe it's not burnout and what you can do if that is the case. So I will see you next week. Remember to like the video and subscribe if you're watching. If you're listening to this, click on that YouTube link in the show notes and come check it out and see what I have to offer on video. All right, bye.